Unraveling the genetic secrets of ancient Mexican mammoths has led scientists to astonishing and still unexplained discoveries that challenge what we thought we knew about these prehistoric giants. But here's where it gets truly fascinating. The Columbian mammoths found in Mexico have turned out to be genetically distinct from the mammoths roaming the northern parts of North America. A revelation that raises more questions than answers about their evolutionary story. For the first time ever, researchers have successfully sequenced ancient DNA from the Columbian mammoth, Mammothus columbi, the only mammoth species native to North and Central America, and notably the only one to thrive in tropical latitudes. These colossal creatures stood around 13 feet, roughly 4 meters tall, towering over their woolly mammoth relatives, Mammothus primigenius, with whom they coexisted and sometimes even interbred. Fossils of Columbian mammoths have been uncovered all across Canada, the US, Mexico, and Central America. But scientists have long been puzzled about the details of how these magnificent animals evolved within the Americas. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. The extensive excavation of Pleistocene-era fossils dating between 2.6 million and 11,700 years ago that began in 2019 during the construction of the Felipe Ángeles International Airport in Santa Lucia, Mexico. This massive dig revealed over 100 Columbian mammoth fossils, a treasure trove that caught the attention of paleogenomicist Federico Sánchez Quinto at the National Autonomous University of Mexico, UNAM. Inspired by this rare opportunity to explore ancient DNA from a warm climate, where DNA is typically fragile and quickly degrades, Sánchez Quinto collaborated with field excavators and fellow scientists to delve into genetic analysis. To explain why DNA preservation in such climates is tricky, Sánchez Quinto likened DNA to ice cream. It melts away rapidly when exposed to heat, but stays intact better in cold environments. Despite this, Ángeles Tavares Guzmán, a biotechnology engineer and co-author on the study, was optimistic because recent studies had managed to extract ancient DNA from comparably warm climates, indicating such efforts were not impossible. The team sequenced mitochondrial genomes from 61 mammoth molars out of 83 samples, and radiocarbon dating confirmed that 5 of these samples were between 11,000 and 16,000 years old. Their groundbreaking findings were published on August 28 in the journal Science. Why does sequencing ancient DNA matter? Peeling back the genetic code of these extinct giants helps scientists map how mammoths migrated across the Americas and how different populations were related. But the results here unveiled a major surprise. Cryo research from 2021 revealed a previously unknown lineage of Eurasian steppe mammoths, Mammothus trogontheri, that interbred with woolly mammoths before crossing into North America via Beringia, the ancient ice bridge connecting Asia and North America, some 800,000 to 400,000 years ago. This interbreeding ultimately gave rise to Columbian mammoths. One might think that as these mammoths moved south into Mexico, their genetics would resemble those of their northern cousins in the US and Canada. But the Mexican Columbian mammoths are, in fact, genetically distinct, despite belonging to the same species. More intriguingly, the genetic divergence indicates that the Mexican lineage separated from the common ancestor much earlier than the mammoths who stayed farther north. Eduardo Arrieta Donato, a co-author at UNAM, described that common ancestor as something like a great-great-great-great-grandmother of Mexican mammoths, a hybrid born from both steppe and woolly mammoths in Beringia. As her descendants migrated southward into Mexico, Geographic isolation likely led to the unique genetic traits observed. This points to a far more complex evolutionary history for the Columbian mammoths than previously suspected, with Mexico acting as a hotspot for genetic diversity. And it's not just mammoths. Other Pleistocene species excavated in Mexico, such as black bears, Ursus americanus, and mastodons, which are close extinct relatives of elephants, also show genetic differences from their northern counterparts. Finding 3 distinct species with this pattern hints at an unusual and remarkable phenomenon impacting animal populations as they migrated southward during the Ice Age. Love Dallin, a professor specializing in evolutionary genetics at Stockholm University, who wasn't part of the study, praised the accomplishment. It's truly impressive that Federico and his team managed to retrieve DNA from such degraded tropical samples. Getting DNA from tropical late Pleistocene specimens is a monumental achievement. The research also touches on an important broader issue. Extracting ancient DNA from warm climates like Mexico challenges the long-held assumption that tropical environments don't preserve DNA well. Plus, it highlights the capabilities of scientific labs in the global south to conduct cutting-edge DNA research independently. Although funding remains a critical hurdle, this work opens up exciting new avenues for further exploration. The unique genetics discovered in Mexican mammoths suggest a rich, untapped biodiversity history in tropical regions that deserves more extensive study. Future projects, ideally led by local scientists, will be essential to uncover the full story of Ice Age ecosystems in these parts of the world. But here's the controversy. What does the genetic divergence in Mexican mammoths mean for our understanding of species classification? Could these differences be significant enough to reconsider how we define species boundaries? Are we possibly overlooking vital information about past biodiversity by focusing mostly on northern fossil records? These questions challenge established ideas and invite ongoing debate. What do you think? Does this genetic uniqueness indicate a need to rethink mammoth evolution? Or is it just natural variation within a species? Share your thoughts and join the conversation below. Jean Timmons, who rediscovered her passion for paleontology later in life, brings this story to light with enthusiasm and thorough research. Her articles have appeared in respected outlets such as Gizmodo, Ars Technica, The New York Times, and Scientific American.